evening at home. I am your host, Connell Vassar. Normally we have a lot of fun, joke around on the show, but today I feel like it's time to take a step back as far as I'm concerned. As many of you know, there have been protests throughout the entire world. People have been protesting police brutality as a whole, but more specifically, the murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was a community activist. He wanted to see his community thrive. From all accounts, he was a pretty great guy, and it's sad to know that his final moments were spent face down on the ground with a policeman kneeling on his neck. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to die like that. I really feel for his family. His young daughter, she did not deserve to have her father die, and for it to be such a brutal and sad death for somebody who loved his community, loved his family, and just wanted to see his community thrive. There has been some form of justice served to the police officer Derek Chauvin, who has been arrested and now charged with second-degree murder, originally charged with third-degree, but it was pretty easy to see in the video it was second-degree murder. And all of the other officers who stood by and did nothing or held Mr. Floyd down even further while Officer Chauvin was kneeling on his neck, they have all been arrested and charged with aiding and abetting to second-degree murder. I feel like it's not my place to give my opinion on this situation, so with their thoughts, I want to hand this episode over to two people that I look up to, that I admire, people that I consider my friends, people that I think are great voices in this community. So I want to hand it over to Brittany Blake and Jordan George with their thoughts.
It's really hard to express the fury and the lament I feel towards this whole situation. As far as George Floyd's murder goes, that was a blatant murder with the four men that were there. And to see injustice still, this injustice and discrimination still being a very prominent thing for the black community, for my people in this country in 2020 is very infuriating. I'm very happy to see everybody of all races, all creeds, all nationalities out there protesting for us and helping this movement be pushed forward. I hope anyone who's watching this understands that it's very hard to express how I feel. If you are black, you do understand where I'm coming from. If you're not, you won't. All I can ask you to do is educate yourselves. Public schools have done you a disservice by not letting you know your history, which is our history. So please educate yourself on Black history. Please educate yourself about how to go out and riot the right way and protest the right way. There are a lot of things that are happening that will fall back onto my community because people are ignorant and they're committing crimes and they're doing things that they think is right, or just for the hell of it, they're just doing it. And that's not the whole reason about this. We're here because we need to make a serious change. Nobody trying to go back to the Jim Crow times, man. It's not. We've come too far to regress. We've come too far to go back to the good old days. Like, we've come way too far. And I'm very happy to see people doing this again. But it really makes me think, if a pandemic wasn't going on, would the response have been the same? It would have just been like another hashtag for a week or a month or so, and then everybody would have got back to their lives. It's a double-edged sword, so I'm very conflicted, and I've been trying to find the right words to express myself, but I don't really think there are any words to. All I can ask at this point is that you keep sharing correct information, that if you are not Black, any other person of color or white person, please educate yourself on our culture, educate yourself on our people, our history, everything you can get your hands onto, and keep protesting, keep doing the right things. The best way to be there for your Black friends, your Black family members, your Black associates, your Black classmates, your Black employee associates is to protest in any way you can. Donate, go out, keep spreading awareness, and any of the myriad of options that you have out there to get to. Please do that. So yeah.
Hi, my name is Brittany Blake. I'm a senior in high school, and I pretty much just want to explain a lot of the issues going on in the media right now, for a problem that's happened for hundreds of years within the Black community. The first thing I want to shed light on is what Black Lives Matter is. It's a movement that focuses on the fact that Black Lives Matter. We have to deal with a lot of systematic oppression, police brutality, racial profiling, and it's very prominent within our community. And in no way, shape, or form are we saying that all lives don't matter, but we're saying at this point in time we are dealing with a lot of issues, and we need to focus on these right now. Okay, so now that you know what the movement is, there are many ways you're able to help out with it. For example, donating. A lot of protests have been turned into riots at the hands of violent police members, as well as people that were at the protest with ill intents. So destruction of property and looting unfortunately has occurred, but there are foundations you can donate to make sure rebuilding and restocking of places is able to happen, especially for Black businesses. So a link to that will be in the description. Another way that a lot of people are helping out is also petitioning. So different petitions have been started to get a long list of people in support of whether it is government reform, the justice of George Floyd's murderers, making sure that their sentence is fitting for the atrocity that has happened. Another way to show your support for this movement is peacefully protesting. I think we've had participation in about all 50 states so far. In Europe, I've seen videos in New Zealand. This issue is so prominent worldwide that we're all showing our support, and it's an amazing thing to see. I also want to mention some tips for protesters. Please have water, energy snacks, cash, and go with a group of friends to make sure everybody's safe. And for any videographers and photographers there, whenever you're posting images or you have a video of the protest, please make sure you're blurring out the faces or crossing out the eyes of anybody present if you don't have their permission to post it, because there has unfortunately been negative retaliation for anybody going to these protests, and you want to make sure their identity is protected. One thing I do want to talk about is my experience protesting. I had a good and a bad experience. Something that's good to talk about was that I saw babies in strollers. I saw people that could have been my grandfather. It's just a range of ages, races, genders are all out there showing their support for a movement. That really shows strength in numbers. That's one thing I always want to mention, that the more support we have for the movement, the more sure we are that change is going to come. As far as the bad part when it came to protesting, I feel like the common solution that happened with the police department, the National Guard, or whomever is out there trying to protect and serve us, they made a barricade. We got to a certain part of the street, then we have a giant line of cars, trucks, bicycles, police horses, or whatever is blocking us from continuing to protest. And it's just showing the opposition between the two groups. If you really were there to protect and serve us, you wouldn't be stopping us from using our First Amendment. You wouldn't be stopping that. You would walk with us, and not just for publicity or for photo op. Because I know in the media, a lot of people say like, oh yeah, we took photos, they were kneeling with us and everything like that. Then they got tear gassed 10 minutes later. It's not just for some trend online. It's as far as your morals. Are you going to stand with people that you're supposed to protect and serve, or are you going to hurt them in the process of them using their rights? Another resource that I want to mention is that there are YouTube videos, which will be inside of the description, that you can watch, and the views and watching those ads, it racks up money for different foundations. For example, rebuilding black businesses for George Floyd's family. That money, it may not be you physically going into your wallet or anything like that, but that view can help raise money when you are not able to give out anything financially. So that's a really good resource, especially for the high schooler kids watching. I know we ain't got that much money, but I know you can use your views for good. Also, if you're old enough, please vote. If you're not old enough, please pre-register to vote. You have a voice in this country, please use that. It is a fight for every single one of us to have complete equality, and it starts with you being able to vote and speak out on these issues. Alrighty, that's pretty much all I wanted to mention about this movement. One thing I want to stress, don't be afraid to get educated on certain things. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's very important that we're all informed in this crazy time. Again, my name's Brittany. I'm gonna have Kana put my Instagram in the description. If you guys need more resources, have any more information that I probably should push out on my platform, or you just want to talk, have any more questions, just let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Black Lives Matter, and there's not going to be any peace until there's justice. Thank you.
To end off, I just want to say, please educate yourselves. Educate yourselves about the history of police brutality in our country. Educate yourselves about the history of unarmed black people being murdered in our country. Please educate yourselves about everything regarding this situation, because the more you know, the more you can help, and the more you can empathize. And to everybody out there, please stay safe. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching this video.